Hi, Shannon Grimm with Shannon Grimm and Partners. Thanks for joining us. Today I have Denisse with us from our team, and we also have Ben Stair from Bartlett Tree Services. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
And Stanley always makes fun of our intro music, but I didn't like it. It's just Ivan's up thing.
I like it.
But anyhow, so you are a certified arborist.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
I started in Pennsylvania in March of 2013.
Okay.
Yep.
How'd you get in this path?
I've got a lot of extended family in Pennsylvania, and I got an environmental degree, just a general environmental degree from Toledo. And growing up, like going back to see the mountains in Pennsylvania, I just knew when I graduated I wanted to find a way to go there. I had done a little bit of work with an arborist in college, like on the side, running his ropes for him. And he was actually from Louisville, but he would come back to Toledo where he went to high school. And he and his brother could have played like semi-professional lacrosse, but they were like, we have so much fun climbing trees. Like, we're just going to do that. So I was sitting there and thinking about it. And I was like, I bet y'all would really love that. So I made a couple of phone calls and had a couple of interviews, and before I knew it, I was moving to State College, Pennsylvania. So,
Very cool.
yeah, stars kind of aligned. And
So you went to the University of Pennsylvania?
No, I went to University of Toledo, but when I graduated, I moved. Yep, I thought for a little while that I did an internship in Cincinnati after I graduated and tried to gear my education more towards like fisheries a little bit, but they didn't have like a dedicated fisheries degree at Toledo. But I didn't want to stay in school for like 6 years and transfer and everything. So I just got a general environmental degree and then did a fisheries internship and thought during that internship that I would find or land like a full-time fisheries job, which is absolutely not the case. You need to do like part-time work for like 5 years.
So where would someone who has a fishery degree work?
Government agencies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in Toledo, probably really could have used that, because back when I was getting ready to go to college, they had a lot of dead fish that were just in the lake right there in Toledo. They sounded really, really bad.
The jobs are scarce. The jobs are real scarce. Like, I was competing with people with master's degrees for like entry-level positions. So you have to really do like seasonal work for years before you land a full-time position. So,
Wow.
yeah, I was sitting in Cincinnati trying to figure out how I could get myself to Pennsylvania. And, I made a couple phone calls and started out in Pennsylvania. I think it was March of 2013, 24. It might have been 2014.
Okay.
And that office of Bartlett had just started in the previous, like, September, October. So I was one of the first, like, four production people in that office, and watched that office grow as I grew. And yeah,
It's very cool though that it's rare that you get people who stick with the company for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's good that you were able to, grow within that company.
well, my boss was very gracious. I took a 1-year hiatus and followed an ex-girlfriend to Colorado, but came back very quickly after that. And he was nice enough to take me back. But
I get up in Columbus to get away from an ex-boyfriend.
there you go. There you go.
Should be moving 3 hours away to get rid of that.
Yeah.
But and the first guy that I dated down here was actually, he had went to Ohio State and wanted to be an arborist.
Oh yeah.
So that's actually how I knew what it was.
Yeah. No, Ohio has a pretty big arboriculture scene. Davy's one of our bigger competitors, but they're a nationwide company as well, and they're from Cleveland. Our Bartlett's home base originated in Stamford, Connecticut. But again, we also have offices all around the country.
I didn't know.
Really cool.
I didn't know that Davy and Bartlett were national company.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So are they like franchised?
I believe Davy is. I don't know a ton about them, so I don't want to misrepresent them at all. But
No.
we're still family owned. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So we just have, and what's really neat is if you go to any other Bartlett office in the country, they're going to operate very similarly, which is nice. So when like we're actually international. We've got offices in the UK and Canada as well. And like up north where it gets real cold, Minneapolis, up into Canada, when they can't work in the winter, but they can send their people south. We had a couple bad winters in Pennsylvania where it was like there's so much snow on the ground, there's just nothing you can do. And we were able to go down south and help out an office down there. So from a production employee standpoint, like, it's a game changer. Yeah, instead of having to go on unemployment and everything like that,
Yeah.
get to see different areas of the country.
Because you're essentially seasonal.
We
Kind
generally kind of, but we keep our crews working year round. Like, there are different diseases that keep you from pruning certain species during the growing season. So we save all that kind of work for the winter. Our tree crews work all winter long unless weather gets us down. The plant healthcare work is definitely seasonal.
Well, a lot of people don't understand. They think you could just call any landscaping company and have them treat trees and stuff. So, especially like when you have a big tree,
Yeah.
you don't want to trust that to someone who isn't a certified arborist. You want an actual arborist to take a look at your tree. They can do more damage than good. And then that tree, if that tree isn't going to be salvageable, it's going to cost you maybe $1,000 to $2,000 to get it down and cart it away.
That depends on how big, but it can be a lot more than that.
You know, the one that I have, it's huge. And, you know, my husband wanted to call somebody. I'm like, well, you need to call an arborist. And they're like, why? I'm like, because.
Yeah.
Because they can actually do more harm than good.
Yeah.
So if you get someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and most people like to pretend like they know what they're doing,
Yep. Yeah.
and that can get everyone into trouble.
Oh, absolutely. And pending the location, like, you know, you have a big tree in a backyard that's hard to access. Now you're talking about having to use a crane or different types of equipment. Like, it's not uncommon to have $6,000 to $8,000 removals, pending the location and how big the tree is. Like, all those factors go into it. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have one that's like aimed at the house. So, and I think it helps also with insurance if you keep those maintained and trimmed.
Oh, yeah.
That your insurance is looked at more favorably because that way, if it goes into the house, you've done everything you could do.
We do. I mean, we get a certain number of calls every year that our insurance company called the homeowner and said, like, hey, we're not going to insure you anymore unless you get this taken care of, you know, so we have to do some pruning. And I always tell clients, like, you know, your roof is a lot more expensive than pruning this tree.
Right.
Let's keep your roof safe.
Well, if you stay up on it, it's not as expensive because it's not like you have to do it every year. It's not like a tree can grow that long in a year. But
yeah, I try to get a lot of clients. I tell them if you can get your property and your trees to a place where you can prune them every 5 years, maybe 7, depending on the species and where they're at, that's a good place to be, you know.
so what do you like most about being an arborist and working at Bartlett?
That's a tough one. A lot. Part of what I loved in the production side of things was obviously like being outside. Climbing trees is the fun part, right? But then I moved into a role, we call it the local office safety coordinator. I became the safety coordinator in my old office for a couple years there before I moved to Ohio. And that role kind of allowed me to be like the most useful person on any given day in my office. And that was really rewarding. And now in this role, like going out and speaking with clients is like the fun part, and like helping them solve problems to make their home more beautiful, you know, keep things safe, take care of their trees and shrubs and solve issues. But yeah, it's awesome being able to, like, every tree is different. Climbers always say like no two trees are the same, but after 10 years or so, like, I don't know that it feels bad to say like I lost a love for climbing, but like I don't know how else to put it.
You just wanted a challenge.
I wanted to do something new, and yeah.
You just wanted a challenge. You can tell that you still have a passion for the industry.
Yeah.
You just wanted to challenge yourself within that industry.
Yeah, and that, like,
So doing something too long, it kind of gets
Yeah.
stagnant. So you want to spice it up.
absolutely. Yeah.
So we had podcasts.
Yeah, this is spicing it up. This is a new one for me. But yeah, that was part of what I told my boss, is the division manager. And part of what I told him is like, I don't know if I'm going to be good at this new role or not, but I'm excited about, it's like a new game, a new thing to learn, you know?
Push yourself.
So-
So it's good to get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
Push yourself.
Yep.
So, and that's what brought you to Ohio was the job, right?
Yeah, yep. So our division used to be, where I was in Pennsylvania, we used to be in a division that was connected to like Virginia. So it was very strange map. Like we call it the Bartlett map, but no, they reorganized our divisions, and Pennsylvania became part of the division with Ohio. Ohio used to be in a division with like Chicago.
That makes
So now Western Pennsylvania and Ohio are now in the same division. and I knew the division manager. So that kind of gave me the encouragement I needed to like start looking around at where I might want to go if I took a position like this. And being that I grew up in Dayton, my wife's family they're all spread out. So it just made sense to be closer to one of our families. And Columbus worked out. So
Do you have kids?
no, we don't. We got married late. We've been married for 3 years now, just over 3 years.
Well, how old were you
No.
that married?
33.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got married at 38.
Okay. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So my mom told me, so I think I was 30, 35. I think I met my husband at 30, 36 or 37.
Yeah.
And at 35, my mom told me, because I said, I want a guy who's never been married and never had kids. And my mom said, well, if they've never been married, never had kids and they're, 35, there's something wrong with them. And I'm like, hello. What is
Oh, yeah. Everybody's life's different.
Yeah, so it's interesting. And my husband always says, well, if I would have met you sooner, I'm like, if you would have met me sooner, I wouldn't have been smart enough.
Yeah. Yep. That would hold true for my wife and I as well.
Yeah. Our former social media girl, she like has this list of what she wants, and she wants him to be tall, she wants him to be this, and I said, look, there's only one thing you need in a guy, and it's for them to treat you right.
Yeah. Yep.
And I said, once you find a guy who treats you right and puts you first, you don't need anything else. Doesn't matter how tall they are or what they wear or any of that stuff. So how much money they make, that doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Late in life, I just figure I saved myself at least a divorce, right?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And I always tell people I never met a guy I wanted to be tied to for the rest of my life. So that's why I didn't have kids.
Yeah. There you go.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep. So
I think you did a good but
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. No. We've been liking it. Her only stipulation for where I looked for a promotion at was that it can't be colder than where we were. And I was like, well,
that's smart.
I was like, Cleveland's gonna get a little more snow. I don't know necessarily.
A lot more snow.
Yeah, like this year they got less than we did actually.
But that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I grew up there.
Yeah.
And my mom, like, up until 2016 when my mom passed, she'd always be like, are you sure you still live in Ohio? Because I'm like, we got nothing. And she was like, really? And like up there, like I go visit and, what would take you 20 minutes on a normal day when it's snowing sometimes took me like 3 hours.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like the snow would come so fast and so heavy and so fake.
Yeah.
You just couldn't see. And I just thought it was hysterical. Was I missed that snow count.
Yeah. That's
Kind of.
and
But Mother Nature doesn't need to bring it my way.
right in production, like climbing trees all day. Like I hated the snow, but like outside of work, I was like, I love the snow. But
I like one good snow a year.
yeah.
And I don't like people to drive in it. I just like it to be pretty.
Yep. Have snow day. Oh, I got to keep it under wraps. But, yeah. So.
Now, does your wife appreciate the beard? Does she like the beard?
She has seen me without it one time.
Wow.
So
like her, she doesn't.
she thought it was real weird. The dog didn't recognize me. So I don't. This is about as short as it ever gets.
So you know what? Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
So if you shaved your beard, I bet your iPhone wouldn't recognize you.
You're probably right.
Oh, the Face ID thing. Probably.
That's the first thing in the morning. This morning I was so pissed. Like, bitch, you gotta recognize.
One of your eyes is like held shut. Yeah.
I'm like, come on. It's me.
Yeah. That's too funny. Yeah. So I grew a beard one time, and it looked okay. I mean, it was patchy. It was multicolored. It never got to that. Not even close to that.
I can't imagine you make facial hair.
And my wife actually said she likes me without it, but she actually said she liked it. My kids hated it.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Like, what's going on?
What's wrong? Tim,
Yeah.
just such a baby face.
I can't fully. You would think that I would look older and more mature with the beard. It didn't do that.
No.
I don't want to find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want the kids. I don't want to.
I had first started in State College when I first moved there, and one of the employees had a big beard, down
ZZ Top.
So yeah, ZZ, yeah, and he moved away. He moved to the Bartlett office in Oregon, and he was an awesome guy. His name was Tyler, and he was like, you gotta keep growing beards for this office. Since I'm leaving, somebody's got to wear a beard. So I was like, screw it, and I just grew along. And I think since 2014, I've probably shaved it maybe 3 times.
Wow.
But yeah.
Since which age you have to
Since 2014.
So 11 years.
Something like that. Yeah. Probably shaved it 3 times. I look weird without it now. If I saw myself without it, you'd be a little freaked out. Yeah, probably.
Wait, I don't read that.
I look like a high schooler. What's going on?
So I think my brother, it always made him look younger because he does the goatee.
Oh yeah.
But then it's starting to get gray. I'm like, dude, can you at least dye it? Make it feel old. Like, it's all gray now. Like, I don't understand. He's 8 years older than me, but I can't accept it.
Gray goatee. So you kind of turned into like a beatnik looking person. Your gray goatee, probably.
So, have you ever watched, I want to say Tool Time, but the show wasn't actually Tool Time, but the very show. Yeah. So,
I watched a video on YouTube about that like 2 days ago.
my brother looks like Al Borland,
I got
but his name is Tim Taylor.
I'll still.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever told me that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's definitely a tool man. So, like, he can fix anything. Like, you can give him anything broken and it'll work and get it. I don't care what it is. It can be the most obscure thing and he'll find a way to fix it.
So he's definitely more of an Al Borland. Not a
Ario's very true. But so he's lived a while like Al and he had that, but I can't accept the fact he's getting older. I don't like it.
I really thought you were going to say he is really a tool bag.
No, he's the little Moby, but
Yeah.
I mean, grew up watching that stuff. Well, I was older.
My wife still, like, whenever I have a crazy idea, that's one of the things she says is, I don't think so, Tim. I'm like, I think we can pull this off. She's, well, I don't think so, Tim.
That's some of your crazy stuff to.
I think I need to make my kids watch that show. Like, I feel like there's enough shows that were funny,
Yeah.
had good family values, and had good messages all wrapped up into, like, a good show, and that's one of them. And I loved that show.
Every time I turn on my garbage disposal, I think about it. I'm like, man, this could really be stronger. I could use,
He's more power. That was like his motto. Power.
Hook a V8 engine up to your garbage disposal.
Yeah. Yep.
So, what is your wife's name?
My wife's name is Kelly.
Kelly. Okay.
Yep.
What do you two like to do?
Well, we have 3 dogs since we don't have any kids.
Really?
So
My husband can only handle one at a time.
she told me yesterday she wants to get 6. I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're
Dogs. No, oh my God.
It was a lot for me.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. So
We have 2 that visit us, so we have 3 sometime.
yeah. No, go ahead.
big one?
I have a bird dog. He's 90 pounds, and he just turned 9. And then I didn't have a whole lot of say in the matter. We were not engaged yet. I don't even know if we were dating yet. And she got 2 rack terriers
Oh, there.
that were supposed to be 30 pounds. And then she put in her deposit and found out that they were a mix between toys and minis. So they are 6 pounds each.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we got a real weird dynamic.
Well, why she wants 6? Because it really only feels like she has 1.5 right now.
I told her we're not getting another. And the next dog we get is going to be my next dog, or something has to be gone first.
I can't do the little dog.
Me neither.
I love the little one. I can't do the little dogs. They got to at least be 30 arms.
They will be every day.
I will say I feel the same way, but I've softened a little to them. I used to be like, heck no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's fine.
It makes a big difference when they're yours. Yeah, I say that, but yeah.
I'd be afraid I'd hurt it because, like, my dogs always sleep with me and stuff, and they can't even, like, get up in the bed on their own. And well, I like playing with them and visiting with them, but I don't think I could have it.
Step on it or accidentally sew on it. Or...
They're real good at getting out of the way.
Okay, good.
Living with Moose, my dog. Yeah, he's a terror. Yeah, he is a terror. So when I got him at 10 months, because his original owner tragically passed. So I took him, and his original name was Magnum, and I was like, yeah, I'm changing that. And I was looking at him, for a week or so, trying to figure out what I'm going to change his name to, and I was like, holy crap, he is huge. And Moose just kind of stuck.
They are awesome. I like.
He is a terror though, and they're real good at staying out of his way. But Yeah, they'll like if he comes anywhere, if he comes close, like within 3 or 4 feet, they just instantly start like growling or barking just to let him know where they're
Right.
Yeah,
Down here.
like be careful.
But it's interesting how dogs, even when you get them when they're a little bit older, they'll respond to different names, and they'll learn their new name. Because like I'd gotten a corgi that was a golden retriever mix,
Oh yeah,
and it had been dropped off at the shelter, and its name was Noodles, and I'm like, I can't do it.
yeah.
So
Too many syllables.
I'm like I need something good that you can like yell, you know.
Yeah,
So he was Corey the corgi.
there you go. Yep.
So I like things that sound like they end in a Y.
You said he was a corgi lab mix,
No, corgi, golden retriever.
golden retriever mix. Did he look more like a corgi?
So he was short and stubby like a corgi, but had a golden tail.
No.
So he looked just like a fox,
interesting.
and his
Yeah.
face, he looked like a fox.
Yeah.
So he was a great dog.
Did he have the long body still?
He did.
Yeah.
Well, he was smart.
So very corgi-like, but smart.
Yeah, very smart. And he had, like the Goldens do, he had seizures.
All right. Yeah.
But he was like the best dog.
Yeah.
So I would tease him sometimes and say, "Oh, you want to go see Grandma?" And then he would like sit by the garage door for like a week.
Oh yeah.
Sir, like you heartless woman. Sure am I not going to see Grandma? Like you've had this discussion. Why are we not going? So he was very smart,
Yeah.
and
Did he herd things?
he did.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting a cattle dog after that.
Yeah.
When he passed away, I got a cattle dog. It was an Australian cattle dog. They said, "Oh, this cattle dog at the pet store." By the way, never buy anything from a pet store like a dog. But they told me he was going to be the same size as my corgi, which my corgi was 25 pounds. And then I find out that the breed is 47 pounds, but whose nickname was Tank, was 105.
Oh, I was gonna say like what, 60, 65 pounds, 105.
Wow. So, yeah, he ended up having heart failure. Go figure, because he was just a big boy. And you could not go to the bathroom with the door shut. And there were all sorts of things that you could not do. And he would tell me when to go to bed, tell me when to get up. He would take the covers off of me or anyone else who was sleeping in the house. So, like, if we had people like sleeping in the living room because they were visiting or whatever, he would like peel the covers back off of them. Yeah. And they're like, "What is he doing?" I'm like, "It's time for you to get up." And he would also bang his head. So if back when he had the big TV, that were like the floor things, the big huge things, he would bang his head into the TV until you put the movie Cats and Dogs on.
Really?
And it's weird because the cats and the dogs in the movie didn't bark or meow; they talked.
They talked, yeah.
And I would sit on the couch like this and just watch.
Yeah.
Like this. So he was the most bizarre dog, and I used to think I could call him and talk to him because he was like a person. It's weird, but in him, I love animals.
Dogs are awesome. Yeah. That's another great thing I love about what I do. I meet like 2 to 4 dogs a day. Awesome. So every day I get home and my dogs are trying to figure out how many other dogs I've met.
Oh, I get in trouble. Yeah. I had 3 poodles yesterday, and they're so cute. One of them was blind.
Yeah.
But he's like such a little cuddler. So like his owner picked him up, and he just put his little head there and was cuddling with her.
Yeah.
And he literally was like a little teddy bear. That's so cute. And he was blind. That is so cute. And then she had 2 other ones. So.
Dude, poodles have never liked me.
No.
So yes, I've had issues with poodle. German shepherds are my worst enemy.
Really? Yeah, I've not had issues with German shepherds, but
They like the way my blood tastes.
ooh,
No.
oh,
Yeah.
my wife has had issues with Dalmatians. That was her dog. She got bit by one, and Dalmatians were her downfall. For me, it was poodles, but yeah, I've never really had any problems with any of those.
Yeah, identify a poodle, but then German shepherd tried to rip my face off and my arms, so I had plastic surgery on my face and the whole.
Holy cow. When was this?
I was a second day of 8th grade.
Jeeps.
So, and I'd known the dog for about 10 years.
Jeez.
So they said he woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
Awesome, and I just happened to be there.
Yeah, it's a little different than waking up on the so.
But anyhow, so then there was another one that attacked me later who got me in the leg. So it is what it is. I don't want German shepherd.
So that I understand that. Probably wouldn't either. Well, yeah.
Not my thing.
Yeah.
So any vacations or anything planned?
No, I'm due to take my wife on a vacation. It's been a couple of years. I need to start planning that out. We've talked about doing something on the East Coast. Her brother is in Arizona, and they just had their first child. So he's coming back. Her parents live like southwest of Philadelphia, and because of how small her dogs are, it's hard to find people to watch them. So when her brother comes sometime, I think this May, she was thinking about all of us loading up and driving over there. Her parents, the dogs love her parents.
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
But Philly, I used to make that drive all the time.
Yeah. So we were thinking about 7 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
We'll probably drive over there, spend a few days when her brother's visiting with the new baby, and probably leave the dogs at her parents and go somewhere on the East Coast. But we haven't figured out where yet. So I was thinking about the Outer Banks. I've never been to the Outer Banks, but
Going there this upgrade last year.
yeah.
So we used to go every year, and it was a huge family thing. And then we started exploring some other things because people wanted to try some other stuff, but that kind of faded off because some of the family was getting older, and the matriarch and patriarch were in their 90s now. So it was like, all right, well, they can't travel as much. So we kind of stopped, and then it was like, man, we really missed that. So last year was our first time going back. I'm going back this year again with a little bit more family. Yeah, so it's
We should talk more after this.
it's fun.
We've been going since I was born. My parents have always taken us every year to Hilton Head.
Yeah.
But then after we all got older, and I've got 4 sisters, so everybody's married now. All of them have kids. I'm the only sibling without a child.
That's why you waited to get married.
Yeah,
Because you had sisters that feed the trap out.
No, I'm the second oldest, and my older sister, like, she's definitely more of a bookworm, and I was like I was the outdoor kid who didn't want to do any homework, and she like loved doing homework. So we didn't like play a lot.
Of the girls, right?
Well, the 3 younger sisters, there's twins and then one younger than them. They were 6 and 7 years younger. So the twins were like the little brothers I never had. So I roughhoused with them. The last one, she lives in Hilliard.
We rough houses with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. The youngest, Rachel, didn't take to the rough house as much, but the twins, Emily and Abby, were like the little brothers I never had. So
That's
yeah, all of them are married with kids now. So getting like the whole group down to Hilton Head is a little tougher nowadays.
Yeah.
So we like every other year try to all get together down there, and this is the off year. So I'm like, dang, I really ought to take my wife on a trip somewhere.
you find it just upload for a little.
It is, yeah. So I'd say Outer Banks has similar vibes, does it, to Hilton Head?
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And it's hard because that's a long drive. But I was looking for someone with somewhere with a similar vibe without the drive.
It is crazy. So
Nice.
Outer Banks is a long drive too, just because
Yeah.
you get to the ocean, and then all of a sudden you have to go down out to the island, then back up or down on the island.
Yeah.
And so the island part, like the whole entering and exiting and the traffic, it does take a little time, but it's worth it.
We went to Chicotee Island like
Never
3 or 4 years ago. It's like the southern, I guess, is that the southern tip of Delaware or Maryland? I think it's the southern tip of Maryland. I forget. I'd have to look at a map, but it was all right. Like, it was not the vibe of Hilton Head. That's the beach vibe I'm looking for. It was really cool. There's a lot of history there, but
I like history. I don't
Same.
about
cold water. Nah, no, not really. Not really.
Okay.
Might have been time of year we were there. I think we were there later in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah, last year we were in July, 4th of July, actually, is a week we were in Outer Banks, but a couple storms came in and it shifted where, like, the urn a little bit, and so some of the days we were there, the water felt like ice. It was probably only like 65 degrees, but it felt like ice.
Yeah.
And then other days it was nice and warm, so it was kind of our last day was freezing, the water. And so my kids were like, I'm not getting it. I was like, it's the last day. I'm in there. I'm body surfing. I'm buggy boarding. We're swimming. So that's it. Lasts long, but we did it. Heck yeah.
It makes them go outdoors all the time. They like it though. I think they're used to it, so they go out and on woods and stuff.
They complain as I'm making them get ready and go places, and then they end up like, so that's standard.
Yeah, they even liked exploring the one park with my husband, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
They did during.
And my husband still talks about this.
So you gotta get them outside. Huh?
But my husband actually enjoyed it. They really like people.
That people. So
All right, thanks. Stanley's that like me. I think at this point, my husband would probably also kill him if he liked the tea. So,
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, probably true. What did I miss before I got here?
so just kind of like his history of Bartlett. So yeah, he's built them one time. So came out here because of Bartlett.
That's awesome.
It's a fairly ran company.
Well, we love that. We like that.
And it's national, actually international.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know.
It's breaking ground on a lab in the UK. They outlived like 5-6 months ago. I think they broke ground. So
You get to go, is it?
if I really buttered up my boss, maybe, I don't know. But
That would be a fun work area.
could you or the Ain Arbade lab? Well, they're also building one. I can't remember if it's a lab or an arboretum in Oregon as well. But
So what is the purpose of the lab and what is the purpose of the arboretum?
well, the arboretum is where they do a lot of the testing from the lab. So, like, our main lab is in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's research and development, as well as they've got like the biggest collections of magnolias anywhere, I think anywhere in the world, or it's the second biggest magnolia collection. But it's like basically a playground for testing different stuff. They do all kinds of stuff that isn't getting tested anywhere else. There's some really cool old pictures of some of the testing that they used to do, like inventing the first spray rigs and stuff like that. And like, yeah, cool. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
I would have no idea that that's what you guys also did. I would have no idea.
There's a couple pictures I'm super jealous of. Like, I could totally see myself having been there that day. But they were trying to measure the deflection from the wind at certain speeds. And this was back, I don't know if it was in the 70s maybe. And they staked up a tree in the bed of a truck and then drove at certain speeds and measured the deflection. And then they pruned it the proper way and then measured, all right, now how much wind can we hit this tree? Yeah, can you hit the tree with the same amount of wind speed, but it's deflecting less, right? So they did all kinds of cool stuff. Like, I could totally see myself doing that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun as all gets to. It's Mythbusters for trees.
So means you may not like climbing trees anymore, but you still have a passion for the industry.
No, I mean,
that-
I would just have to practice again. If I like practiced climbing again,
Really?
it would become fun again. But yeah,
But you get to a point where you're like, I'll fall and break something.
trying to.
It's just better to stay on ground.
If you follow all the right safety procedures, it's not as unsafe as it looks like.
Well, you would know.
I'm more worried. I just went and did a camp with my daughter. It was 6th grade camp, and I was counseling her group, but then I had to keep track of the boys in their cabin. It is chaos.
And I'm like, who would two in charge of a group of boys? Do they know that you turn into like a child?
Well, yes and no. I did do some bad things, but at the same time, I'm now old. So, when it was time to go to bed, I was very mean about that. We're shut up. Yeah. But we did high ropes course and giant swing and all this stuff. And, I've done high ropes course a number of times, done a lot of stuff, climbing, zip lining, all that stuff. Bungee jumping, but I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
And I got up there and I was like, oh man, I'm like way shakier up here than I used to be.
Yeah.
And my concern wasn't falling because I knew it would catch like the safety equipment.
Right.
I was like, my concern is my fat butt isn't going to be able to pull myself back up.
Yeah.
And someone's going to have to come fish me off of here. And I'm going to pull something while falling. And I'll hold this stuff. I was like, oh, I'm getting old. This ass.
Those are all valid concerns. Like, I not worry about getting up off the floor, and I worry about reaching in my backseat to get something because I'm just gonna pull a muscle and it's really gonna hurt. It happens every time.
Don't turn to check your blind spot too fast.
There were a couple guys that I taught to climb back in Pennsylvania. They were not much younger than me, but it was like the longer we climbed, one of our jokes was like, the most dangerous thing we do every day is go to sleep. You always wake up feeling hurt somewhere new. Like, I'm sore on a different side of my body than when I went to bed. Like, what happened?
Dude. Well, I don't climb, but yet I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, why do my shoulders hurt so bad?
Yep.
And it's horrible. But it's better than the alternative, which is not waking up.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
To complain.
Yeah. If you're not getting older, you're dead, right? Yeah.
I try not to complain. And I try to make it so that only my husband hears.
So is this your busiest time of year now that we're heading out of winter into spring?
Yeah, as as the temperatures rise, that's for sure. Yep. The industry calls it like the 100 days of hell, but I don't know. We're about this busy year. Like, I always feel it's waves. It's definitely waves of busy times and slower times, but this is definitely the busiest time of year. But like all year long is kind of just you're on a different wave, all year.
Yeah. I always say real estate industry is like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You go up because you're getting busy, and then you reach the peak because everyone's in contract, but then you're like going back down trying to keep it all together.
Yep.
And then you're goody.
So with the recent windstorms, are you seeing a lot of people asking about like tree repair?
I mean, we do, storm damage calls, and our clients will call if some branches broke or something in one of their trees. Last year, it seemed like everything came straight through Hilliard and into Upper Arlington. It was like on the same vein. There were like 4 or 5 different storms last year, but really didn't run into much anywhere else. There was a little bit, there were some tornadoes last year up near like Marysville and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I live in Ostrander, so yeah, we get stuff. We die there. We're neighbors.
We had first moved into our house, and it was like the second week, and we were at tornado sirens going off. I was like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna have a roof.
It's nuts how much windier it is up there than in other areas around Columbus, but it's gotten more so the past 7-8 years. It didn't used to be like this in Central Ohio, but yeah, the tornadoes kind of coming in out of nowhere now, and we used to get like one warning a year, and now I feel like we get multiple confirmed a year. Yeah, I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Where it say Ohio's the new Tennessee or something like that.
And our community up in Lewis Center, like if it's windy, it's really way higher. Yeah, like it'll just take the door when you're like trying to go in and stuff. And
I actually had the door of my car go 90 degrees. I was like, God, that hinge is destroyed. Just fold backwards.
I bang into my leg, and I'm like, oh my god, and that's not the leg to bang into. So yeah, but it's crazy with the windies.
Yeah, it has been, and even yesterday by 4 o'clock, it was getting pretty windy, and it was calm during the day, but yeah.
Weird.
We get a handful of storm damage calls when wind events like that happen. Since I've been back in Columbus, there hasn't been too many that were like catastrophic. Okay, but yeah, it happens.
Side note: have you what do any of you think about that weird dirty rain?
The weird dirty rain?
I don't even know what it is. You're educating me right now. What is it?
From Texas? Yeah, but they said it was from Texas. So Texas apparently had like a lot of storms or whatever. And like one day I was driving home, I'm like, well, it's kind of weird because it's like it was raining dirt.
I did notice this was
when was this?
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, my car it rained, but usually my car's like kind of rinsed off after that. But my car had like a silty kind of grossness on it after the rain, with like when it dried out.
Yeah. Then I got up the next day and I like pulled my car out of the garage. And I'm driving. I'm like, why is that car so dirty?
Yeah.
And then I drove past Mag, the car dealership, and every car was like so dirty. And then when I got home, my husband was like, "Did you deal with that dirt rain?" And I'm like, "What?"
I didn't hear about this. It might be the same for you. Out where I live, I drive past so many quarries. I'm out in the country. It gets dirt. My car gets dirty instantly when I leave my house. Yeah. So I just thought it was the same, the normal dirt, but apparently it wasn't.
They literally said it was from the windstorms in Texas that it like turned our rain to dirt.
I can see that. I did note that it looked a little weird on my car, and somebody else said they had it too,
So bizarre.
and that doesn't live out by me. They're like, yeah, it parked it at the airport. That's what it was. They got back from the airport and they drove. I had a meeting with them, and they're like, my car's like gross. What is this? And I was like, maybe pollen, maybe because it's coming into the spring. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, okay, it was kind of like that one year when we had the like heavy smoke that came out of Canada.
Oh yeah, from the wildfire.
It was just so weird. Yeah. So and that was kind of some.
We had those army worms or whatever.
Oh yeah, those are not good. Those took up our full back there.
Yeah.
They were not pretty. That was
What's going on?
Yeah,
The end of days.
yeah.
We got like
Like dang, we're counting down now.
one thing after another. Wait till we get the spotted lanternflies.
What is that? Oh my.
You'd have to Google it and look up a picture.
Over.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they contact you?
So you can call our office. I don't know our office. I remember on the top of my head, but you can Google the Bartlett Tree Experts in Columbus. You can find us on Facebook as well. And yeah, I take care of my territory is from Ostrander, the whole west side of town. We work out into Marysville. Dublin, Upper Arlington, Hilliard, down to Grove City. And then southeast side of town is Will King. He's another arborist representative in our office. And then Dave Case takes care of the northeast side, so Delaware over to whatever's on the east side. I'm not that familiar with that over there. So John Literature, yeah. But I don't know where their line is exactly. I haven't been here that long. I get the Westerville and Worthington mixed up.
They're right by each other, so it's easy.
And I think I got it figured out. The one Westerville is east of Worthington. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. That's probably why I get screwed up. But yeah, one of them is mine and one of them is Dave's.
Technically, so when I moved here, Worthington was technically Columbus. Upper Arlington is technically Columbus.
Yeah.
So they didn't start using those names on like sweaters and stuff
Yeah.
until like, geez, I got here in '93. So it probably took a good 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So
There's
yeah, about 10 years, and then my driver's license went from Columbus to Upper Arlington. I'm like, woohoo, I moved.
yeah.
But it's funny because they school district wise that's what they were. But city wise they were still labeled as Columbus.
Yeah. There's a lot of spots then like between Upper Arlington and Dublin that I'm like, I'm definitely in Upper Arlington. Why does this say Columbus? Yeah, no, but
Well,
I'm getting there. I'm learning it.
you get dizzy like trying to figure out what the leaving corp, entering corp, leaving corp. Right. You could see like 10 in a row. It's like, okay, enter left, enter flush. Because they annex stuff in
Oh
with the city. I'm like, when people relocate here, I'm like, just ignore it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was better off. Your driver stuff great. Did you
Yeah.
already use that?
I just try to memorize the zip codes.
Yep.
Those are
Yep.
that's what I go off of.
I got all those numbers.
But as you say, that's how she does it too. But I'm more of a city name. And so she'll say a zip code, and I'm like, yeah, I'll think about this for a minute. I think I know where.
I've been dealing with them so long, I kind of know they're all at this. But anyhow, thanks for joining us today. I thought it would be nice, so technical difficulty. What it is with our board, but so it
Got working again.
yes, Ben was very patient with us.
Yeah, that's good. Did the liturgy music work?
Yes. Awesome. Yes. Told you what was that New York. Anyhow, thanks for joining us today, and as always, make sure to like, follow,
Subscribe and hit that notification bell at Shannon Grimm Realtor and 614 Real Estate Nerds.
thank you.